Emmanuel, good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
And good to have you here.
My pleasure being here.
I only want to introduce you to our people outside here, so I'll be glad if you tell us about yourself and what you are doing in Badon, why you are here today, or why you've been here for a while, and what has been your drive so far.
Okay. Everybody knows me as Dr. Dayo Kayode.
Wow,
Yes.
DK.
Yes. It's even DDK.
DDK.
Sure you understand. And by the grace of God, I was invited to come and be one of the resource person for N Foundation program in the University of Ibadan. And honestly speaking, I was so glad what I saw of University of Ibadan students yesterday, because I passed through UI, and I have allowed UI also to pass through me.
So you're an alumnus of University
Exactly.
of Ibadan.
My first degree, my second degree, my PhD.
Wow.
Because honestly, there is no other university in the whole world like University of Ibadan, and that's just the truth. And that yesterday was awesome because of the way people reacted to, especially when I was telling them about the potentials in them that they couldn't see, and how to bring out the potentials in them, and then to also make them to understand that, well, look, being part of the leadership of University of Ibadan students now can also transpolate to making you one of the leaders Nigeria is also expecting. Because presently, when you look at the humongous resources, both human and natural, that Nigeria has been endowed with, and then you bring it together to where we are today, you know that there is a very, very wide gap, based on the fact that presently we only have insipid leaders rather than visionary leaders. And if the ones coming behind doesn't turn themselves to be visionary leaders, then Nigeria is going to be doomed in the future. But with the crop of leadership I saw in those students yesterday, honestly, I still have hope in Nigeria.
Wow.
Most especially, presently, even though I'm an expert in aviation safety, but I spend 85% of my time towards laying a foundation for a better Nigeria. Because by God's grace, I've seen it all over the world, and I found out that yes, some people made those places what they are. For instance, Washington in US, you have Du Bois, you have Malcolm X, you have Martin Luther King Jr. and all that. If you go to France, you have Charles de Gaulle and all of them like that. If you go to UK, you have Winston Churchill and co. If you go to even South Africa, there you have people like Nelson Mandela, you have people like Desmond Tutu, you have people like Katerina, you have people like this Butizili King and all that. So why can't some of us to stand up in this country and then ensure that, most especially when you read what Mandela said along the line, he said, Africa, the whole world is waiting for Nigeria to emerge as a nation before Africa can get its respect in the Committee of Nations. So,
Okay, yes, sir. Dr. Dayo Kayode, DDK.
thank
if I'm
you.
right.
Thank you.
How are you able to manage your you said airline
Aviation
safety,
Yeah.
and being a political technocrat? How were you able to put both together?
Yeah, you see, I thank God for what He has made of me. It's not easy though. Then if you also listen properly, you see that I said I even spend 85% of my time on how to make Nigeria better, laying the foundation of a greater Nigeria. So I strongly believe that God has done so much for me, not in terms of having Because what people see, what people look at as what God has done is about money.
Of course.
It's not all about money. How about your attainments?
Hmm.
What you have achieved in life, in terms of education, in terms of good health, in terms of growth, in terms of exposition. So I think it is time for me now to give back to the society. I call it my own ministry. Just like the pastors, they have their church ministry. My own ministry is crusading for a better Nigeria. So all I do, for instance, now I'm in Ibadan because of this.
So are you
Because
saying,
I know that-
are you saying you are a crusader?
I'm a crusader, which is different from an activist.
So you are not a revolutionary activist?
I don't like using that word revolution
How
because
can we juxtapose between a revolutionary and a crusader?
okay, I will tell you now. It's just like when you also say an analyst, a political analyst, and a political technocrat. A political analyst will tell you, yes, this budget, this is what it is. This is the percentage that is, but it is wrong. It has to be this. When you look at what the United Nations has quoted and this and that. But as a technocrat, if you ask me, I was asked one day about our president's budget, the way it is. I said, look, the president can only give what he has. He cannot give what he doesn't have.
No, that's quite an bit.
Do you understand? Just as I'm here now, I can only tell you as much as I have seen. And mark you, that's what we call binary rationality. There's nobody who is not subjected to it. What you know and say at any point in time is bounded by what you are exposed to. But when tomorrow comes, you now get new information, new this, new that. It can change your orientation. So as a technocrat, I know that. And at all of the time, I let that one guide me. But when you see some other people, they are just there. Whatever they want to be, whatever they have believed from the beginning is what they will believe in. So that is, you can also look at that to now be able to understand the difference between a crusader and an activist. An activist believes that, yes, agitation is always by aggression. Agitation is always by aggression. But a crusader...
Are you saying you don't believe in Showore's revolutionary... are we going to call it revolutionary crusade or revolutionary...
o ti gbọ́rọ̀ wá síbi tó ṣòro díẹ̀ o. You see, when you're talking of freedom of speech, we have to look at this constitutionally.
Of course, sir.
When you look at freedom of speech, there is also freedom of individuals. Are you with me?
Of course, sir.
You can, let's put it this way, you can only prevent a bird from perching on your head. You cannot prevent it from flying over your head. Are you with me? That is to say, everybody has his own rights. Showore's revolution, yes, it can organize a revolution. But are you organizing it within the confine of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? That is what we call seditious statements, libellous statements, and then treasonable felony statements. Are you with me?
Of course.
If I'm the head of state, and let's look at this analogy again. I'm your friend, because Showore and Buhari, they were friends when they wanted to unseat Jonathan. All right, I wouldn't know what agreement they had before then and all that. I wouldn't know it's between them. But I'm sure along the line they fell apart. That's why he contested against Buhari. If they wouldn't have contested against Buhari, you now contested against Buhari. You are now saying tomorrow there won't be any military again, and Buhari is the head of state. I mean, he's the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. You are saying by tomorrow there won't be SSS again. You are saying day of rage. Can you go and look at the meaning of day of rage? That word rage. Okay? 1, 2. As we are friends, we now fell apart. And you are holding a gun while I'm holding a knife. Because that's where I will see the two of them. And I said, I was coming to stab you with my knife. And you see me coming to stab you with that knife. What will you do with your gun? Let's leave it that way.
Okay, sir. It's nice having you on our platform.
But the issue is, I know that Nigerians, we are going to emerge one day, and we are going to work towards it. It's not about revolution. We wouldn't use that word revolution, but true crusade and all that. We will get there.
Yeah, we would have liked to. There's in some of your writings, we've seen where you said you dedicated the rest of your life. What has prompted?
I was in Washington some years back, about 7 years back, and I saw the statue of Washington himself, where he was talking to the president of the United States. Then that he has spent all of his life serving America. When I saw it, I was moved, and there and then I made up my mind. The rest of my life, I'm dedicating it to serve my fatherland. And since then, when you call any of my phones, you will see you will hear the ringing tone of national anthem.
Wow.
And then you will also see the flag.
He must be a good nationalist.
Yes, and ever since, I've also released last year October, I had a broadcast to the nation.
Okay,
you can check it on YouTube.
Of course.
Dr. Dayo Kayode Independence Day International Broadcast.
Okay,
This last New Year, to January 1st, I also had another broadcast, which is also on YouTube. The moment you even press Dr. Dayo Kayode, you see a lot of my works on YouTube,
great.
talking to Nigerians.
We are delighted having Dr. Dayo Kayode on our platform today, and we hope next time you are in Ibadan, you can be able to reach us.
Even if you call me to come to Ibadan, come and talk to Nigerians. That is what I get delighted in doing.
No problem, sir. It's nice having you.
Thank you very much.
I wish you a safe journey back to your state.
My pleasure.
All right,
pleasure.
sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Ego, how was it?